Doing an oil change on a 6th gen Camaro SS. Mine's 2016. As you can see, LT1. We got 10 quarts and AC Delco filter. I just thought I'd mention my last video about misfiring. I found the issue. It was a lock the door. It was a spark plug issue. My spark plug in cylinder 1 cracked, and I replaced that with the stock AC Delco plug. I'll just show what the spark plug looks like. Try to point it out. Hold on. There's a fracture there, and here, if it would focus. There you go, kind of see that. So that was my issue. I just keep it in here for good luck. Hopefully nothing like that happens again, but who knows. Anyway, we're gonna jack the car up and I'll show you guys what it looks like after that. Alright, so, a little high breath. Alright, as you can see, I got the car jacked up. Now, my driveway is on a hill, like an incline going like that. So I backed the car in and just jacked up the front to kind of even it out. I mean, I did a little too high, but I mean, relatively speaking, it's fine. You want to try to have it like level, but it's gonna be okay. But as you can see, I have the wood boards down under the jacks to protect the black top, because if I could find it, last time I jacked it up, right here, you could kind of see it left like marks, so that's to prevent that. And I keep the jack there for an extra like safety precaution, just in case anything happens. You know, you can never be too careful. But yeah, 3-ton jack stands and then 3-ton low profile Daytona jack gets the job done. Now I'm gonna get my tools real quick and I'll show you guys what to do next. Alright, so I changed things around a little bit. I lowered the car because it was bothering me, so now it's not on as much of an angle, just to make sure we get all or most of the oil out. But another thing I forgot to mention, so I got one of these from AutoZone, and it's a magnetic drain plug. And the good thing about this is that it'll pick up any like metal shards or pieces or whatever that it's in your oil pan, so none of that gets recirculated into the engine and can potentially harm it. So it's not a necessity, but it's a good thing to have if you can get it. It's like $4 I think or something at AutoZone. My particular car has a 13 mil, and let me just show you again. So this is a 13 mil deep socket because I don't have a regular socket for my 1/2-inch ratchet. But as you can see, fits, so it's a 13. And I got my 1/2-inch right there. I'm gonna crawl into the car. I'm gonna show you guys the next part. Another thing I forgot to mention is before you start draining your oil, you wanna go up here, and wherever your oil fill plug is, mine is right here, you wanna unscrew that. And the reason why you want to do that is it helps get air into the engine when you're draining it, and it helps push most of the oil out so you don't have to worry about it staying in your oil pan. It's pretty, I don't know, it's, again, not necessary, but it's good to do. It's good practice. And if you're concerned about any dust getting in there, you can kind of just lightly cover it like that. And you want to do the same thing with the dipstick. So just like that, the dipstick's out of the hole and just laying there. So just keep that there, and then I'm gonna crawl into the car now. Alright guys, so I'm under the car and I might whatever you call it, catches the oil oil whatever right here. Make sure it holds more than the oil that's required in your engine, or else obviously it's gonna overfill. So mine is 10 quarts, like I said, and this holds like 14 or 15 or something. So you don't gotta worry about that overfilling. Then you want to unscrew this, or however your oil pan is designed. It should look like that. Now mine tends to get very messy and squirts like all over here and over here too, and so I'm going to try not to do that. But the tools that I have are the filter wrench, which my filter is right there, the blue thing, and it just helps get it off. I mean, you don't need this. That's why I brought this towel, just in case it's hard with this. The towel gives you enough like grip or rag, whatever, to unscrew it. It shouldn't be that tight. And then you want a 1/2 inch, mainly for the torque, because I found that using 3/8, sometimes if it's really tight, it can possibly strip it and strip the oil drain plug, so you definitely don't want to do that. But that's getting thrown out anyway, because I have, like I said, the magnetic one. Oh, this isn't even the right size. It's the right size for the new one, but not for the old one. So let me get the other one. All right, so it's a 15, the stock one, and the new one, hopefully if it fits, will be a 13. But I'm gonna try and reposition this so you guys can see it. All right, hopefully that's good enough angle for you guys. The drain plug's right here. I'm gonna start to unscrew it, make sure this is like positioned correctly so you don't get oil on the ground, because you definitely don't want to do that. You want to be very careful with this. Get a good angle on it. Make sure you don't strip it like that. All right, now it's loose. So you want to, again, be very careful. Probably don't even need. I should probably use gloves, right? But we're gonna YOLO it. If anything, keep pressure on it so it doesn't like fly out if it gets too loose, and then let it like slowly drain it first. If once you make the rain for that. So, yeah. Give me that. Let's push out my wrist. See this? I'm like holding it barely on right now, so it doesn't all come out. Like, you make sure you hand always on this. That's, you know, make that or doing that. This will leave that more. You just build up in real grind. There's some very complicated. See how black that fucking oil is, man. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh my god. Ow, I fucking, ow. Alright, so, at least you know what not to do now. I thought I got on my phone, I fucking bugged out. Oh. Okay. I fucking hit my head on the something over here, and it made me twitch, and I fucking, oh, whatever, dude. Alright. As you can see, all over my hand, but yeah, that's what I was talking about. You can just let it drain, and it's literally all over here. Alright, so I'm gonna crawl out from under here and try and clean this. Alright, so if you're a moron like me, who makes mistakes easily, because I'm not by any means a pro mechanic, first of all, wear gloves. Even though wearing gloves is a pussy thing to do, I know, but prevents stuff like that from getting on your hands, because I just had to use this Gojo, which is, by the way, very good to get stuff like that off your hands. Basically a much better soap, and I got some of it on the ground. But if you look under the car, it's a mess right now, and that's what I was trying to avoid. I'll show you. Ow. So at least you know what not to do. Oil right there, but it's okay because we're redoing the driveway anyway, so I couldn't care less. over there, and then around the oil pan is all oily. But as you can see, it's almost done. I'm gonna let that drain as much as possible. And then after this, you're not done, because then you have to do the oil filter, and a little bit of oil comes out of that. But after you drain that, I'll show you guys what to do next. But right now, I'm just gonna wait till this is done. It's been like what feels like forever. As you can see, where is it? It's only dripping now. It's not like a stream of oil. So when it starts to drip like that, you can cap it off. I mean, yes, not every single pint of the oil is drained out, but at least most of it is, and a little bit of old oil dripping out won't affect the engine negatively whatsoever, because it's made to run with, you know, a little bit of bad oil. You're not gonna sit here for, you know, 2 hours waiting for this thing to drip. So put the new plug in, which, by the way, fits pretty good. Hand tight. And then something just fell on my fucking face. We use the same 1/2 inch. So you use the 13. That's the size of it. Like that. And then, as you can see, anyone can do an oil change, even if you're as stupid as me. So like right now it's about like tight. Like if I do it tight anymore, it's gonna, like, you know, I have to use force. It's not like I can just turn it. So when it gets to that point, you just tighten it like that and call it a day. Just a little bit more than fully tight, which already is enough. It doesn't have to be like, you know, gorilla strength tight. If you go over here, my specific engine and car had the filter on the what is that, driver's side. So the driver's, where my hand is right now, I'm touching the filter. So you unscrew that, which, by the way, it was like, I did it with my hand. I didn't even need the pliers. So make sure, I'm terrible at trying to get this in the middle, but I'm gonna try my best. Try and adjust it as I unscrew it. But and some's gonna drip on my hand, probably. Yep. Motherfucker, I hate this. Try and get, see, it's all over my fucking hand. And then it starts to slow down. I'm starting to feel it come very loose. This is where you'd like want a glove. And it's still got on my fucking arm. And that's normal for oil to come out of the filter, obviously, after you plugged the oil pan, because you're supposed to fill this with oil before you put it on. Plus, obviously, it's an oil filter, so it's gonna have a little bit of oil in it. The oil filter is out, the old one. I have it draining right there, upside down, into the pan. And I'm just gonna show you guys. All of these come with O-rings. And the main thing you wanna make sure when you take this off is that the O-ring is not still on the engine, like where it screws in. So the way to check that, I just don't want to get oil on my hands, so I'm using this. If we see the O-rings right there, and I already double checked under the engine where this would screw in, and I cleaned it and everything, and I made sure that the O-ring wasn't on there. So make sure it's, you know, wipe it down briefly and just get all the old oil off. And then this is the same exact one that I used. That one's AC Delco, this one's AC Delco. This is what a brand new oil filter looks like. That's the O-ring on the top right here. And usually, this is garbage now, the box. Usually what you want to do is fill it a little bit with oil to lube it, and, you know, make sure it's not going in dry, because that's not good. You definitely want to lube the O-ring a little bit with oil and around the top here, and a little bit inside too, just to get it, you know, primed. What I did was I opened the first oil thing, oil jug, and I'm just gonna put that on there for now. I opened it and I used my funnel. I got a little bit on the towel, but that's okay. I used the funnel to get some oil into the filter, and after that I just went down here, screwed it in. That's the new one. I hand tightened it, and then I used the towel to tighten a little bit more, or the rag, whatever, and now it's in. I opened my 5-quart thing. I have my funnel ready inside the engine fill hole, so I'm gonna go ahead and gently pour 5 quarts in. And then before you pour all 5, you want to double check that you're not leaking on the bottom. So let me just do that. And then once you check that you're not leaking, go ahead and pour a little bit more. That's good. Like so. After this one's done, obviously you just pour the rest of your oil in my case another 5 quarts. I waited about 10-ish minutes, maybe 15. After I poured the oil in, I left the dipstick out just because I wanted all the oil to go down into the pan, and sometimes the dipstick can block a little bit of it, so I wanted like an accurate result. And then I put the dipstick in, took it out, and we have the exact amount that we need. The oil was at the top of the dipstick. All we have to do now is start it. All goes well, hopefully. Starts right up. For safety, I'm gonna check, see that we're not leaking. But that's how you change your oil, my car specifically. Hope you learned at least a little bit, and what not to do especially. But